my water.
Back there, Ricky. Thank you for the drink. Right. Thank you, Ricky, for the drinks. Untraceable identity. Thank you. For the food and the service, please tip your waitress. She is amazing, Miss Olivia. She's awesome. If you guys want to come closer, we have books here. Seats here. It'll be really nice for the reading. All right, so I want to introduce my friend, my BFF forever and ever, my children's godmother, which is really, if anything ever happens to me, she would be the person to take my children. But she's awesome. I don't want to give too much information away about her because we are going to do a Q&A afterwards. So I would love to just introduce Miss Jayla Starr, author and publisher of Untraceable Identity. So she's going to do a reading from her book.
First of all, I do want to say thank you for everybody that came here tonight. I am so grateful for the relationships that I have with each and every one of you guys. If I'm horrible at reading, don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head because I don't know how to read. No, the scene that I am about to read actually is at the end of the book, not the very end, but it's a scene where Jerica, which is the leading lady in this whole story, she finds herself in a broken state of mind. Not that her body is broken or her spirits are not even broken. It's all in her head. So she's literally she's trying to figure out a way out of the situation that she found herself in. But ultimately, right now, she's just in her cell. She went to jail because she wanted to. She thought that if she went to jail, they would find her identity. But that's not what happened, of course. So that's where we are. She's in a cell. She just got into a little situation with someone else that has been where she is, and she didn't want to listen to them. So basically, right now, you're just gonna take a peek into Jerica's mind, her state of mind, and where she is. Jerica is now in a wet concrete room alone. Her clothes have been taken away, and she has not had a bath since she has been there. Just thinking about the conditions and what she sees overall has taken her off of her focus. I was not the aggressor. Do you hear me? I was not the aggressor. She chants over and over again, screaming to the top of her lungs. She gets no response from anywhere beyond the walls. What seems like hours go by and not a word. Now Jerica is hungry and she's growing more and more afraid by the minute. Thinking to herself, what can she do? She believes that it's time for her to tell her own story. Once there was a woman, graduated high school, and promptly lost her father, and took on the responsibility of breadwinner and backbone in her family. This girl takes care of her sister and her mother without complaints. Once she saved enough money for her family to survive on for the next few years with little struggle, and her sister finally graduated high school, then shortly after left for college. This woman decided to enroll into college herself to better her life. On the day of her trip to the college grounds to find her a job and somewhere to live, she was involved in an accident never to be seen again. Cries and loud screams filled her cold, empty cell as Jerica releases her truth. Who am I? I know who I am, but my identity has been stripped. My identity is untraceable. I am untraceable. I may not ever be able to prove who I am, but I want want you to know that I am not this person. I don't want to fight and be angry. I am kind. I am giving. I am God-fearing. I am humble. Can anyone hear me? I give up. Did you hear me? I give up. Jonathan, you win. I will play along with your little fairy tale. I accept being kidnapped and trapped and untraceable with an untraceable identity. The girl's cries turns into anger and then tears of sadness.
So the first thing is, just tell us the background about you. Who is Carlotta Brax first?
Well, I was born Jessica Starbell.
That is what I know.
That is my original name, Jessica Starbell. I turned into Carlotta. I was a premature baby. So because I was in the hospital for a long time, as the story goes, because I don't remember any of this. Right. So as the story goes, because I was a premature baby and I was in the hospital for so long, my father decided that he was going to name me Carlotta because his name is Carl. And Iris is my middle name because it was after his sister. So he kind of changed my entire name. That's who I started out as.
So where are you from? Where did you originate from?
Yeah.
And what did you do before you got to Kansas City?
Okay, so I am originally, I was born in Los Angeles, California, and I was in the foster care system after my mom took a turn with her health issues, health issues, I should say. I was then picked up from Los Angeles, California to live with my grandmother, which she was blind, so that's why when we got to Ohio, where she's from, we had to go and live in a foster care system. So for that time, I don't remember so many details, but I do know that I moved from Toledo, Ohio to Havelock, North Carolina, which is so beautiful. And then from Havelock, North Carolina, that's when my grandmother decided to move us to Arkansas. In Arkansas, I moved there when I was in the 7th grade, and I went from Strongly, my whole 7th grade, to where I graduated high school in Marion, Arkansas.
So when you were growing up, what did you want to do? Did you know that you were going to be an author? What was your plan at that time?
So when I was in junior high, I started creative writing. So our creative writing was featured in school stuff, basically. And Reader's Digest, that was one of my gifts. My grandmother used to always let me order Reader's Digest. I've always been interested in the backstory of things. And that's kind of why I gave so many backstories for Jerica's story, because I feel like your backstory is important to who you are and where you are in your life. So ultimately, that's just, creative writing is my go-to for everything. And I encourage friends and family all the time, whenever they're having a problem or whatever, I always tell them, you need to go write. Right, because telling somebody is the same thing as telling yourself, which is writing. I mean, you can go back and you reflect on where you were, where you started, where you're trying to go, and that will help any issue for me.
So it's safe to say that writing and starting, your own publishing company, that type of thing is just kind of already in the works.
For Jesus, yeah. God actually had, I feel like, even though in my life different things turned. I went to school for psychology. I mean, I guess knowing the people's backstory, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, that kind of is the same thing as psychology.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but there's so many different ways I thought in my mind that I was gonna go, but I've always loved to explore. And reading someone else's work is a way to explore them. So writing Untraceable Identity, I explored my own. And I pushed boundaries that I didn't know with grammar and more things that I didn't know that I was capable of. So,
So since we know who Carlotta Grass is, who is Jayla Starr? What does that woman encompass?
I'm as limitless as Jayla Starr. Jayla Starr wrote Untraceable Identity. Jayla Starr is a person that is not Carlotta. Carlotta has a label. Carlotta is a foster child. Carlotta is a person that don't have family ties. Carlotta is a person, all of these things that I think I am, that's Carlotta Grass in my mind. But Jayla Starr is limitless.
So Jayla Starr is would you say is your alter ego to make everything happen?
To make writing happen. Because Carlotta works every day. Carlotta is trying to make time for momming and husband and wifing and churching and all the things that I do in my everyday life. But when I need to step outside of myself,
Creative. Gotcha.
that's who Jayla Starr is.
Okay. So since we're talking about Jayla Starr, what was the idea behind Untraceable Identity? Because cult fiction isn't anything that is, I don't want to say normal, but it's not normalized where people understand what that is, and not that it's not something super crazy.
So, I had a thought, and the thought turned into cult fiction. I described it that way because I did break boundaries in Untraceable Identity. I broke boundaries because the cult believes, and after it was written, that's how I described it as a cult. But the cult believes that your reality is what you make it. In my world, there are so many boxes people put themselves in. The gas hand on your car tells you when to go get you some more gas, right? So you're directed through your day, literally every day. Your baby crying tells mom to get up out the bed and go see what the child wants. That's the reality that we find ourselves following. But in Untraceable Identity, this cult believes that their reality is what they make. You're not going to become a mom if you don't feel like mom. So you control that part of your life before it even happens. So Untraceable Identity, so the cult in Untraceable Identity, they picture whatever they want and they go out and get it, regardless to how they get it.
So this doesn't sound like, so when you say cult, and it doesn't sound like this is a bad cult. It sounds like
The idea of it is not bad.
Okay.
But you need drama.
Right.
So some people go about getting their reality in ways that they shouldn't.
Okay.
And with Jerica's story, as you just heard from the little clip that I read, Jerica didn't exactly go looking for this cult. This person, Jonathan, found her at a state where she couldn't control herself. So in his mind, you can't control the situation, let me.
So his cult membership almost is what kind of includes her and brings her down this path.
Yeah, so the type of person that you'll find Jerica being is she's strong enough to take care of herself, but she needs help. Jonathan, in his life, he wants to help, but he wants to help his way. So that's his part of the cult. Now, there are other people in the cult that are introduced in the story, but their idea is way different from what Jonathan lives. He wants to be a father. He wants to take care of his household. So his father lives with him. He takes care of him. He takes care of the people that he found after finding Jericho. He takes care of those people. And the other people in his life, they accept it. But the type of person Jericho is, she's fighting against what he feels like he can provide for her.
Well, I don't want to give too much away from the book, so I want to ask you more about details.
Yeah, because I talk too much and I give the whole form away.
Okay, so what is the journey of self-publishing? Because you actually self-published. You didn't do this the traditional way.
Correct.
So what was your idea, or what made you want to self-publish versus doing traditional publishing?
So, I had no idea about the publishing world. I did not at the time know anything about numbers, expectations. I had no idea how to do publishing, period. So all of the research that I did, and I actually I sent the first 10 chapters to a couple. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want bad publicity, but at the end of the day, I sent my pieces to traditional publishers because I thought, this is your first book. This is how you need to do it. Boxes, that little brown thing with the flaps on it. Everybody put themselves in. I was that person as well, but I'm very still inquisitive as well. So, after I got into talking to these people, getting these emails, they're giving me all the information that they think I need. After reaching out to them and asking the questions that they don't automatically offer these answers to, because they tell you what they want you to know, I went into beyond that and asked these specific questions that I felt like I needed to know to make a sound decision. No, it didn't work out. Not at all. So I started exploring. Well, really, I just listened to a bunch of YouTube videos comparing for people that have like 3 or 4 books out that I can literally go and search the reviews on any of these books. So once I started doing that and started listening to their stories, their journeys, I decided that if I put the work into myself, which I'm used to doing, where I am in my life, I got there because I worked hard, so I felt like just drawing into this, I needed to put a value on my own self. So once I figured out that I am valuable enough to sell my own book and not just get what people are willing to give me as far as information and support, I just decided to, let's try it. And then I have you and my husband and family and friends to help me. So I just decided to go for it.
So what made you do JL Star publishing? So now you have a publishing company as well. So now you can help other people self-publish and give them out the information that's needed to do it on their own as well.
Correct. So after I got my book published, after I completed all the formatting, which is very hard. Formatting your book is very hard. After I got done with that process, I decided that I was going to go through Amazon to publish, to self-publish, because their process is easy compared to other ones. I'm not saying anyone else's name, but whenever I actually got on there, in order to self-publish, it required that I register as a publisher. So when I registered as a publisher and then I put my book out October 1st, I got so many questions, so many concerns. Like, I wake up in the morning and I have like 4 people asking me, did you really write that book? I'm like, yeah. But they had so many questions. People started sending me pages and pages of work that they've done on their own. And it's like, I can tell you what to do. But then one guy, not saying any names, he said, well, can you just do it for me? Sure I won't. Sure I won't do this for you. So what I did was, I decided that if people wanted me to put in that work,
Because it is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I will even walk you through the process so you can stand on your own 2 feet and you can get these things done and you can go about it your way, because there's so many different tools out there to use. There's so many different ways. There's so many different backgrounds for people that, people have books about love. People have books about police shootings. People have books about all kinds of things that I can't, relate to how do you want to market your book or how you want to do things. So what I can do is I can show you the process of getting the actual publishing done, and then everything else you can put that work in as well. And then, but we professionally still be connected.
Right. Well, cool. That's awesome. So what is the next step for Jayla Star?
So December 5th, Jayla Star has a book signing at the Cultural Museum in Little Rock. So that, first of all, I'm from Arkansas. So going back there is just something that I want to do anyway. I mean, weekend, it's a couple hours up the road, why not? So,
you need to share it with people that you've grown up with and know you.
Exactly, because nowhere else in Arkansas has things to do besides Little Rock. I'm just playing, Arkansas. No, but that, the Little Rock is the capital of Arkansas, so a lot of things happen there. And I'm connected to a comedian called, his name is Nate Williams. So Nate Williams, he's in movies now, he's doing all these things. He was looking for somebody, he's like, I need you. So now, we've connected on a professional level, and I'll be there with a bunch of books, and hopefully a bunch of people come and get my books.
For sure. So what's the next book? What's the next thing we get to look out for?
So, you get to look out for, after that, well, one of my books is not named. So, but in the special edition, author special edition, I do have a couple of pages from that book. So if you want to know more, you can get that $20 package of the special edition, which will come with that information in it. But Untraceable Identity is also a trilogy. The second book is actually in editing right now. So it's really done, but people have opinions about things. So I gave it over so they can just, proofread and just do everything that they do, and then hopefully if there's no changes, we should be coming out, dropping that book under J Star Publishing. We should be dropping that book this summer, come this summer.
Well, thank you. Anybody have any questions for our new published author? Malachi.
What inspired this book?
No, the storyline is inspired by so many different things. It's the cult fiction is always really kind of a negative thing because it's about religion, it's about satanism, and that's not me. But given a different face, a more positive face, but kind of misunderstood face. Just like you said, it doesn't sound like a bad cult, but the definition of cult is why it's described as a cult. So really, the inspiration behind it was, it really gave birth to itself. The initial idea was us, as you already know, sitting around just running our mouths and talking about stuff, and we decided to write a book, and then that's just what happened. This is what it turned into after y'all dropped off the map and stopped helping me. then I had to make it myself, make it into a book. So,
next question, Romero.
Husband and son.
So how can I get the book?
So you know, go in the next room. No. It is right now, and I guess this is an announcement as well, because at first I didn't have an ebook. November 1st, the ebook dropped. So if you don't want the hard copy, you can definitely get the ebook. It is strictly on Amazon.com.
And your physical copies are.
It's also on Amazon.com. You can order physical copies through me if you want the special edition with the clips from the second book and other material that I'm also working on.
Cool.
Amazon.com.
You have a question?
My brother too.
There'll be like a possible time skip in other books of interest colliding release.
Time skip?
No, it's a straight through story because there's a cliffhanger, which I kind of revealed part of it on social media, but there's a cliffhanger that happens to Robert, which is the father in the story. So the second book, it literally picks up right then at the dinner table where everybody's sitting around. So the second book, you get a knock on the door and then it picks right up right after. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
So, with your creativity, with everything you have going on, do you see yourself possibly branching off and doing spin-offs of this same series after you're done with trilogy?
If Netflix takes a look at me like
Netflix, definitely.
Yes, I have so many other things that swirls around in my head about this story every time I have read it. So, but yeah, I see so many different ways just by writing it before it was even finished of different things that I could have said. The direction of every single character is very important in this first book. So the second book has so much potential on where I can go, what I can do, what every character, like literally I can write a book on every single character because the cult is made up of so many people. And another thing I should also say about this cult, it's a secret. So they're not walking around with signs saying, hey, I'm a part of this cult. And the cult is called Fear. Malachi read the back of the book is forgetting everything of this reality. So that's it's kind of like a thing for other people viewing people in the cult. So it's like the reality is what you think what my reality is, and then the reality of what my reality is. It sounds weird, but right now that's the best I have.
Without giving away too much.
Without.
We have a question back here.
Okay, so I thought the reading was awesome. The voice is amazing. Lots of emotion. Are we going to get an audiobook version?
I want to, but that is something at this point in time I haven't really explored. But I have so many people also, like my real friends and family that's in Arkansas. They're like, we don't read. Give me the audio version. I want to know what swirls around in your head, but I need an audio version. So because everything happened so fast, October 1st my book dropped and I had no idea it was even on Amazon at the time that it was, because I didn't know. See, that's why I want to help other people, because I messed up so many things. But so my next step, the beginning of the year, is to start looking for those opportunities and how I can get it into more people's hands. So right now, I still work. I'm still a full-time wife, full-time mama. I can't think of everything. No, but I am going to definitely explore those options after my peak season at work.
Any more questions? Malachi?
So someone from the comment section says, when will you write a song?
Let me see who that is. Somebody that knows that I sing sometimes. Obviously. I'm not inspired to write a song, but whoever that is, if you want me to write something special just for you, I'll try.
Any more questions?
If you're my sister, because I know
I have one.
Yes.
So you're a person of faith. So how is your faith sprinkled in the book, or is the cult like the negative side of what can happen with religion, or like?
So Jerica, she is an extension of me. So in her beliefs, in her mind, when she's talking to herself, when she's getting her good good advice from her ancestors because she feels dead inside. So on a certain level, she's remembering everything that her grandmother taught her, things that she said. So she's literally saying these things throughout the book to herself. And she makes it very clear where it came from. So, and it's an instance in the book where she does pray, and she's like, God, I know you're not sending me through this. Like, why? But her grandmother, on the other end, is encouraging her to, you know, you got to figure it out. You have to stop looking at yourself as a victim. Their reality is what it is. What about your reality? So she's literally talking to herself. So yes, I love God. Everybody that knows me knows that I do, and I would never leave that out of any piece of work that I do. Yes, ma'am.
Carlotta's early days contained a lot of things that really had nothing to do with decisions that you were making because you were so young. So what advice do you have for people? You clearly have valued that, but also turned the corner to realize you're more than that. What advice do you have for people that maybe haven't turned that corner and that need to yet realize there's more to them than maybe what happened to them early on that had nothing to do with them?
Life is hard. It's not going to change. So my advice to any person, not only for the sake of the book, not only for the sake of encouraging somebody else to follow their dreams, but in general, life is hard. There is no way around it. And if you victimize yourself in a certain content, then that's where you'll stay. So the box that I've been vividly talking about that people put themselves in, that box, you gotta break that. If you can think beyond that, whatever you want is literally laying at your feet. So my advice is just to think outside of what you think you are. Because most of the time, how you live your everyday life is how people see you. So they're not gonna let you get outside of that. You have to get outside of that yourself. So at one point I was a victim. I was thinking that I had no capability to do anything else after I started college 4 times in my life. So it's like, and I always was looking for somebody else's support. Well, is this going to be important to them? When you start thinking about things for yourself, that's where you begin to grow. Because as long as you put yourself in that box that other people view you in, it's nothing going to change. So my advice is just to make sure that you explore yourself. You put yourself in your own mind and figure those things out for yourself. Work out your life. Yes, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
Will you publish my book?
You know what? We talked about your book a few times. So, but I just didn't want you to say, sure, I won't. No, I believe in your project. We have talked about that, and you said that it was almost done, or maybe it's done, I forget. But yeah, whatever you need. That's the type of person that I've always been, and that's what I want to continue to be. People can ask me anything. Look in my inbox if I showed it to you on my phone. People have been asking me some of the weirdest questions, and it's like they pop in, ask me a question, and then 2 days later they're like, "Well, let me ask you this." It's like I can't sit here and answer everybody's questions every 5 days. Like if you got some
publishing companies.
Exactly.
To have it all done in a row, professionally, all together, get all the information you need, done.
certain hours of the day.
Certain hours of the day. All right, for your Q&A. So we do have our comedian here that is going to come up and give us a nice closing to our evening.
Thank you for coming.
And it is going to have it out. And your name is Robert.
Yes, Robert Jackson.
And he was actually in one of my mom's plays. So I do remember him. All right, go ahead.
How y'all doing?
Oh, I turned it off.
There we go. Wow. There we go. That's that preacher voice right there. Oh, glory be to God. everybody. Turn with me if you got your Bibles. Y'all doing good out here, man? I got my Bible in my purse. Next to my Glock. That's where you accidentally pull it out and you be like, look here, let me get some change. Oh, no, that's that. Get this. Yeah, man. My name is Robert Jackson, this funny guy, man. I apologize for my tardiness. Romero, man, he is threatening in his profile picture and in real life, okay? Whole time he didn't smile while holding that camera. He was like, yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's my wife.